We have got Brittani Ratcliff here. You are our chef to watch. Brittani, what's up?
Not much. Enjoying the warmer weather now.
Yes, so we had just such an experience just even trying to schedule this because you were having a time last week. Like as much of people in the middle of the country, you're at Moorhead University in Kentucky. So you had a terrible week last week. Let's because of the weather. So tell me everything that happened.
Yeah, we had three storm systems come in back to back. So the first one dropped about 2 inches of ice on us. The next one dropped like 7 inches of snow, I think, total. And then we had another one that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. And then we had like another 3 inches of snow on top of that. So, no power and no water, and trees were down everywhere, and like getting back and forth to work. It's been a wild February.
It certainly has. Yep. And here in Ohio, we had that same kind of like lasagna layering of the like ice, snow,
Yeah,
more ice, more snow. So,
right.
oh my gosh, what a week. But it's things are melting now. It's warming up. So that's great news. And how were your operations at the for food service like interrupted by this? Obviously, like if there's no power, like how'd you guys handle that?
So luckily, MSU has their own power source. And right now, with catering being down due to COVID, we have our residential dining facility, which stays open 7 days a week. It does not matter the weather or what's happening. We have students on campus and they have to eat. So we were able to function, I want to say like normal, but of course, we did have a lot of call offs. We're out in the country, so a lot of my associates couldn't make it in. But we did function on shorter hours. Didn't stay open as late and kind of opened a little bit later than what we usually do, just to give our associates time to get in. But we did make sure our students were fed every single day. So it's a very busy week.
Yes, that's what counts though. You got the students fed. So I say
Exactly.
that's a good success for you through that. Um, and I wanted to ask you, which a lot of people are curious about this. You have appeared on the show Hell's Kitchen, and I want to hear like your experience with it.
I don't even know how to describe it. We filmed 2 years ago, so for it to
Right.
finally be airing this year, it still kind of feels like a dream almost.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like, did filming actually happen? Where was I actually in Las Vegas with Chef Ramsay? But getting to watch it back and getting to see everything, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this really did happen. The experience was great. This was the first season out of 19 seasons that was filmed in Las Vegas. All the rest of them were filmed in Los Angeles.
Hmm.
So we were kind of the guinea pigs
Yeah.
for his up and coming, like what he's going to do from here on out. But it was really, really nice. Like I enjoyed myself. Chef Ramsay is exactly how you would imagine him to be in person. He's very intense
Right.
and very, very passionate, and that you can't help but have that rub off on you while you're around him.
That's awesome. Were you intimidated at all? Like when you first
I
went
think I
there?
would be stupid to not be intimidated by this man. And like, he looks big on television, but when you're
Yeah.
standing next to him, like I'm 6 foot tall, and this man towered like 2 foot or 2 inches over me, and like big broad shoulders. So just
Yeah.
him in general is intimidating. And then knowing his background, knowing that he's a Michelin starred chef and he
Yeah.
has all of these successful television programs. So you're just, you are in the presence of a culinary god. And yeah, it's very, very intimidating.
Just larger than life for sure.
Yes,
And
definitely.
it seems like you made some good friendships on that show though too. Like the people that it's like you're competing with them, but it seems like you met some really nice people while you were there.
Absolutely. That was the one thing about I can say about my teammates, the red team.
Mhm.
When we walked in the doors the very first day, we sat down in our dorm that night and we decided, you know what, we weren't going to go for any of the drama. We were there to cook for Chef Ramsay. We were there to cook at the end of
Mhm.
the day, and we knew that if all of us didn't succeed, then none of us would make it to the finish line. So we all kind of sat down and got together, and we were like, you know what, like we're here to cook, so let's be a team instead of being at each other's throats all the time. And it really worked out in our favor. But those aren't the only friends that I made.
Mhm.
Actually, a lot of the Hell's Kitchen alumni, so from previous seasons, have reached out to us, and I'm really good friends with Ashley Nickel. She was on 2 seasons. Um, I'm kind of surprised, like I was a mega fan of the show before being on it. So to have these contestants that I looked up to and was just, in awe of messaging me, and like now I'm friends with them and we're planning different things, and it's kind of crazy,
How
but I ended up
fun,
with a
yes.
with a great support system.
That's awesome. Very cool. And I love the idea of like deciding that you're going to work for a team. You're not going to give the cameras what they want. You're not you're not going to do any of the drama, which I love. Did you bring some of that back because you're a sous chef now and you're on this team? So did you bring back some of that mindset?
Absolutely. And residential dining it's not new to me. I started in residential as a cook and kind of worked my way up through our company. So bringing that back and then putting myself back into that residential dining kind of feel as opposed to doing catering where I'm on my own all the time. I had to remember, it is a team. I do have cooks that are working for me. So I had to bring back that camaraderie and get them all on the same page that I was on. And it's been very, very beneficial.
That's for sure. Yeah. So with your Aramark team, you're continuing with the stuff that you learned. And I have been looking at your Instagram. I think it's great. Everybody should follow her. And it seems like you're into some comfort food. Like you made some really good looking dumplings the other day. So
Oh, thank
tell
you.
us about
Yeah,
those.
those were delicious.
What are your dumpling secrets?
For me, I know a lot of people, especially like in Appalachia, you have, two kinds of people that do dumplings. You're either doing a rolled flat dumpling, almost like a noodle, or you have big fluffy dumplings. I grew up in a fluffy dumpling household. So like the bigger the dumpling and the fluffier it is, like the better it is. And
Oh
of course,
yeah.
like starting your stock from scratch. So the one that you seen, I'd actually, broke down an entire turkey. I used the bones, roasted them off, made my own stock. So just little details like that make a huge difference in your end product.
So how are you going to get back to your roots?
So for me, I've been going back 60, 70 years and talking to my grandparents and other people's grandparents and looking at, schools used to do those cookbooks that they would sell as like fundraisers. I
Mhm.
have a huge stack of those. So I've been going through and looking at recipes from, like 100 years ago that were, being practiced here in Appalachia. And what I'm doing is taking my French influences and bringing that into my Appalachian cuisine back to my roots and doing something that I like to call an Appalachian and French fusion.
Ooh.
So just kind of Appalachian food that I'm taking to the next level and elevating a little bit.
I love the sound of that. And I love old cookbooks too. Like those, it's just so interesting to see like what people in your area were doing 100 years ago. Like so crazy to look at that.
It's
And
insane.
yeah. And did you mention you want to get back to the farm? You might want to.
I do. I am newly engaged, so me
Oh,
and my fiance have been.
congratulations.
Thank you. My fiance and myself, we're looking for a really big farm. I would like 200 to 300 acres. I do want livestock. I do want to grow my own produce and eventually move that to a food truck. But my sole purpose of the farm is for it to be a working farm. I want to bring back that farm culture that we seem to be losing in Kentucky. That was, it was our staple for the longest
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
People were so much more self-sufficient back then and didn't rely so much on going to town and getting groceries. And I want to be able to share my knowledge with other people, so show them how to grow their own food, and then how to take that food from the ground to the table, or even better, how to preserve that food. And that way they're not worrying come wintertime when we have big storms like this and you can't get out to the grocery store.
It's so true. Absolutely. And by doing that, you're naturally getting away from like the processed foods that are so bad for us and all of those things too. So, well, that's going to be
Exactly.
very fun. Do you think you might get some goats or llamas on, or like what are like the
I don't
animals
know
that
about
you're thinking?
llamas, but I definitely want, cattle. And of course, I have to have horses. I grew up with horses and I miss having them. I'm living in a city right now, so can't really have a horse in my apartment. But goats for sure, definitely sheep,
Oh, yeah.
chickens. You can't, chickens and ducks and geese. Like I have to have all of those.
Oh, yeah. I have a friend from college and she kind of inherited a family farm that they had turned into a golf course and she turned it back into a farm. And this is right outside of Akron, Ohio. So you wouldn't think it would be rural, but it is.
Right.
And she's got these really cool pigs there. They're called Mangalitsas and they are Hungarian and they're really furry. So they stay warm in the winter and it just for the Hungarian.
I'm gonna have to look into those. I love pigs. I think they're so cute.
They really are. They're too cute. It makes me not want to eat them though. So I can't think too much about that because they are delicious too. So
Yes,
yeah.
they are. I cannot stay away from bacon.
Oh my
Even
God.
as cute as they are, like I can't stay away from bacon and pork belly. I can't do it.
Same. So true. Well, this is just super exciting. And again, congrats on being engaged. So exciting.
Thank you.
And we are going to keep up with you because Chefs to Watch is not just a slogan. We really are going to be watching you and following up with you. So look
Awesome.
forward to hearing more from you, Brittany. Thank you so much.
Thank you.